Did you know you can progress in exercise in more than just the weight? Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the personal trainer and running coach of Kathletics. Here at Kathletics, we're all about meeting you where you are in your fitness so you can approach hybrid training in a sustainable way. When it comes to progressing in exercise, you probably think of increasing the weight as the first mode of action. And while, yes, that's important, especially if you have goals of gaining strength or building muscle, there are other ways that you can manipulate an exercise so you can continue to progress over time. So, yes, we can manipulate the weight. We want to continue to add weight over time, whether that is over the next several weeks, months, or even years at a time. We can also progress an exercise by increasing or decreasing reps and sets. That again is going to impact how much weight that we are lifting in that specific exercise. Those three components, so the weight, the sets, and the reps, are all going to add up into the volume. So you're going to multiply those three numbers, and that's going to give you your volume. So of course, we want to see the volume increase over time, but there are going to be times and seasons where we have a decrease in volume, so we can make sure that we are adapting for whatever the goal is. So for example, if you are entering a season of muscle building or strength because we are entering the off season for running, this is probably a time where you're going to see that volume increase. We're going to see those reps, the weights, all of those things are going to be encouraged to increase. Whereas when we enter into maybe the late spring and early summer, we're going to see those numbers come down a little bit overall, maybe not for a specific exercise, but overall within a strength day, because the volume of strength is going to come down as the running volume increases. Other ways that you can manipulate an exercise is by changing the rest times. With rest times, those are going to ebb and flow based on what the goal is. So in an endurance phase, you're probably going to see a little bit shorter rest times, whereas in a strength phase, you may see rest times of 1.5 to 3 to 5 minutes, depending on what the exercise is and what your goal is. Other numbers to consider are tempo. Now, tempo is something that is prescribed in all of my programs, but it is something that is not at the top of the list when it comes to making sure that we're progressing. So we might throw in some specific tempos if we're working on eccentrics. So for example, if you're aiming to improve your pull-up and you want to increase the amount of reps that you're doing or even get your first one, eccentrics are something that we might work on where we start at the top and we eccentrically come down and lower down from that pull-up and focus on the negative portion of that exercise. One area of progressions that I believe gets overlooked is range of motion. Because again, we always think of weight or volume when it comes to progressing, which I do believe is number one. That's at the top of the list. But range of motion can be a huge flex. No pun intended. But increasing your range of motion over time and having the ability to get into your end ranges while also staying strong and mobile is incredible and is going to allow you to have longevity as well as build muscle, gain strength, all of those things that we're looking for the long term. So again, these are just pieces of the puzzle when it comes to learning how to progress in exercise and things to consider when you are doing your own programming or if you are following a program like one of our hybrid training programs. If you learned something new in this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and then we'll see you in the next one.